Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda.
All right, good evening, viewers. Friday evening. Hope everyone's psyched up, ready to go for the weekend. And down here in Wollongong, we got some stuff happening, guys. We've got the Vax bus is going to be here. Then we've got Tuesday in Sydney for the 11th, guys. Caz can't post, so you share. So if you could do that, and we only have 4 days left on Facebook by the look of it, guys. All right, so Matilda TV. All right, get over there because that's what we're going to end up, streaming to there. Twitter, Rumble, BitChute, obviously the other platforms we can get to. But yeah, guys, we are about to lose it, I would think. Okay, so we all know this is coming. So let's hopefully we got enough voices to maybe stop coming. Who knows? But let's going on around the traps, guys. All right, so all this government stuff. Australia's 4 billion illicit tobacco. All this has been caused by the frigging government. This is what they do now. They got licenses out there for these people. You know what I mean? And you got to apply for your license every year, and this, that, the other. It's just all revenue, guys. That's all they're after us for, is our money and the control of what we do. I don't know about this, but, I think it's good. It's just Pauline, and, I've got no faith in any of these politicians, guys. She slammed Albanese at a Trump event in Florida, so that's good. I'm glad about that. I might talk about that in a minute, actually, the pollies, and we'll just get through a couple of things here, guys. Gangland violence in Sydney. Melbourne's on the streets down there with your machetes and that. Guys, up here in Sydney, it is just bullets, man. Bullets are reigning supreme at the moment. Houses just getting splattered every day. Wake up to the news of, just more tyranny, more gangsters. This is all by design, guys. It is so sad. This country was such a good place. Now, calls for more translators in Australia's medical industry to help those behind. Well, the only reason people are falling behind is because you're bringing in immigrants that can't even speak our language, bro. we're all getting involved, being involved, or someone involved with the hospitals. All right, guys, and I tell you, it's not an Australian field anymore. All right, you know, the Aussies that stood up wouldn't take the jibby jab. Gone, got rid of. That's just the way it goes down.
Very good.
Catastrophic. Barnaby Joyce wants net zero will end the coalition. Well, something's got to end the coalition. Something has to end all of these guys, mate. That's just the way it is. Got to happen. Global climate action threatens to stall. Can Australia step up at the COP30 in Brazil? Well, you know, we've already spent, I heard on a thing today, $70 million over nothing already, guys, over this COPA thing. I'm trying to actually get it here, I think. And if we get it, it's going to cost us like billions. It's just absolutely incredible what Blackout Bowen is up to, guys. The true cost of crime to Australia is revealed. Well, the true cost of crime is more than what these guys are talking about. That's a monetary figure. What about the psychological stress? These people that are locked in their houses, too scared to go to sleep down in Melbourne, you know, with all this shit going on. So, yeah, it's a monetary factor has nothing to do with it, guys. It's what this government has designed. That's exactly what it is. Okay. Where's Caz? When you're right, Caz, come on in, mate.
Yeah, well, I can't share anything, so. All right, look, Dave, you're breaking up a bit. It's quite rocky my end. I don't know how it is if he's going out.
Right,
okay, guys, let us know, but
okay.
That's all right. So, look, first off, kicking off today, shout out to Rocco for this. Guys, this is hilarious. And, yeah, shout out to Rocco for it.
Can I just get your name, please?
It's Sergeant Maury.
Sergeant
Maury.
Maury. Okay, I think I've met you before.
Yeah, I was the one that arrested you for the warrant last
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What about the signs?
Sorry?
What about the signs?
You're obviously aware that the signs here.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you know about the signs, it's a warning. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't obviously count your vehicles here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the music was coming down there. I stopped it.
No, I know where the music's coming from.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
came and spoke to you. I haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
But yeah, I've already advised you about the signs. Yeah, you can't camp your vehicle here.
I'm not camping here.
You're not?
Because it says on the sign, it says Ewan Park, right? This is not Ewan Park. There's just the Ewan Park starts from that fence outwards.
Oh, this is the parking for Ewan Park, yeah.
Sorry?
This is the parking for Ewan Park.
Well, the council owes me compensation for damage of my car with chemtrails. I got nothing to move it. Even if I did want to move it, I got nothing to move it with. I need something. I need something in writing.
It's on the signs.
Yeah, but you're going to have to give me an official notice so I can challenge it.
I'm not giving you an official notice.
Okay.
Okay. The signs obviously say that clearly.
Yeah.
You can show your camera.
Yeah. Well, what if I got nowhere to go?
That's not up for me to decide. Okay, you
Yeah.
can be wherever you want. If you want to class yourself as homeless, you can be wherever you want.
Yeah, but I told you my vehicle is incapacitated due to chemtrail geoengineering damage.
Well, I don't know. I don't have anything to do with
it. And even if I wanted to move from here, I'd have nowhere to go.
Okay, well.
Oh my goodness, making vehicles incapacitated due to chemtrail geoengineering damage. Love it. Oh no, looks like we've lost Dave. All right, look, I'll just keep going till he pops back. Look, Rocco again at the front of the court with Helen Delaney. Very important case.
Gang, we're outside the Supreme Court, and look at that! What an amazing backdrop there. 666. We have Romania, we have got Reno, we got the Spino, and we got Dane. Just generally regarding Helen Delaney's case today, guys. Stovey's here as well. Regarding today's Helen Delaney's matter versus the state, the police, your comments, Mona?
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
So all I can say, definitely the fiduciary duty notices are working. All due respect for Justice Ian Harrison. He was fair. It was good to see that he was doing his best in his capacity, including the lawyers as well, which was took me a little bit of surprise. So, and we were a lot of us, which was great, and Helen did an amazing job.
Yes, she
was
did.
Doing her best, and she was.
All right, so we're starting to have some wins. We're making a lot of headway in the courts, especially, she just said there, the fiduciary notice of fiduciary duty. It seems to be working. So that's one thing that's working now. What's really, I'll go into it in a minute as well. Dave, you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, anyway, we're back on now because I don't turn Wi-Fi on, guys. So when I've got onto a computer this afternoon, it's just jumped onto my phone. So, yeah, we're now on some Wi-Fi. So hopefully it'll get better for you guys.
Yeah, okay. So now just following on from that is Mike Holt's section 7. Let's have a listen to this.
So far, we've looked at why we have a constitution and how it works and what it's for and who is bound by it. So now, let's go inside the constitution sections and look at section 7 and 24. Because these state that only we, the people, the supreme authority, over and above even the Constitution, have the right and the duty to select our own representatives. Now, the Constitution doesn't mention political parties and certainly doesn't mention a prime minister. These do not exist in law. So read section 7 and 24, and then you'll understand why the political parties and the governments have tried everything they can to ignore the Constitution. But at the end of the day, we know now that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and it governs all government employees, not us. Okay?
Very important. They don't want us to know that we actually have the power, and that they keep talking about the law. What they're talking about is legal. The law. They're the ones not obeying the law, not us.
Well,
we
they haven't been obeying it, for a long time now, Caz. Long time, mate. Yeah, 27,850,000 politicians and 95% of Australians comply with everything they say. What the fuck, Australia, rise up. I couldn't said it better myself, Peter.
Well, the thing is, though, that this is, the more I'm looking into it, guys, and this is just my opinion, is the more I realise how important the Pearce and Cullerton case is on Friday the 14th, the one that Jackie's supporting. Because once they acknowledge that the Constitution is the highest law of the land and rule in accordance with that, everything, we can turn everything around. We can turn absolutely everything around. And Nicola Charles had gained a lot of traction with her separation of corporation and state. And then I'm not too sure about this. I need to look into this. But this is from the Commonwealth Custodians.
Corporate Australia. Opening statement. Your Honor, members of the jury, today we present evidence that the Australian people have been defrauded, not by rumor, not by theory, but by statute, registration, and omission. The case is titled, The Commonwealth versus Corporate Australia. Exhibit A, the corporate registration. We present the ABN registry, entity name Commonwealth of Australia, ABN 12209547989, listed as a business, not a nation, not a sovereign people, a corporation. Who owns it? Who profits and why wasn't the public informed? Exhibit B, the 1901 Constitution. The Constitution is still in force, but it is being ignored. No referendum was ever held to replace it. No lawful transition to corporate rule was voted on by the founding law with corporate policy. Exhibit C, the Australia Act 1986. They claimed it severed ties with Britain, but to pass it, they needed Britain's permission. That's not independence, that's subordination. We submit, both the UK and Australian versions of the Act passed simultaneously. If we were sovereign, why ask for permission? Exhibit D, Sue v. Hill, 1999. The High Court ruled the UK is a foreign power, yet we still swear allegiance to a monarch of that power. We cannot serve two masters, and yet we do.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant getting it all out there, Albert. I agree. All right. And in the research that many different people have actually done, all right, to expose this. But what we need to do, and we need to reach, and I was having this conversation with someone today, okay, we need to reach Antics people, Babbitt's people, One Nations people, all right? And we need to be able to get these people and we need to play in the part of the war here, guys. This is the art of war. All right. So we need to, if you wanted me to put it out straight, we need to slither in beside them. All right. To educate their numbers. All right. On what is really going on, because at the moment, politicians are not going to help us get out of this, guys. We need to get out of it. Then we can select some people who we may think, right, have the credibility or whatever to take us forward, but they're not going to be able to get us out of what we're in.
They are part of the problem, whether they want to admit it or not, because they're keeping in place by being there. See, that what they do is they offer us a token. They offer us a Babbitt. They offer us a Pauline Hanson. And so they're in there fighting for us. The problem is the structure of the system. The system has been structured around illegitimacy, and it's in accordance with their will, which is outside of the jurisdiction of the Constitution, which is what we need in order to hold them accountable. So they are the issue.
Yeah. No, dead right, mate. This is what we got.
And it doesn't mean that they're bad people. They might be good people, you know?
Well, look, we all know what these cretins do, Caz, and we know that Pauline spent some time in jail. Now, I can tell you straight out, guys, we know their tactics. What would have been said to her in jail? What the threats against her family, this, that, and the other. I'm not holding anything against anyone here. What we're trying to do is educate you people and the masses out there that we need to be the power and we need to select and keep in line who we want, right, to try and put this country back on its feet. Okay, that's the message we're trying to make here, guys. There's people out there that you may think can do it, but you need to hold them to account. All right, and somehow or other, we need to get a system where we can do that and hold them to account. Otherwise, we're just going around the merry-go-round.
Yes, that's it though. But the thing is that we're asleep for a long time, and now we're in the hunt, and that's good. And yeah, I think everyone who can get along to the 14th in Sydney, please go. We need numbers. If there's 10,000, if there's 10,000 people there, that's going to put so much pressure on them to rule in accordance with the Constitution. Once that has been, once that line in the sand has been drawn, then we can reverse everything, absolutely everything.
Yep.
All right. So now, and one of those things, of course, is the CDC, which Wade talked about the other night. Well, here's Two Worlds Collide, and he has actually got a really good rant on it.
Australians versus the agenda, the CDC bill just passed Parliament. And let me explain exactly how terrible this is for everyone. But first, I'm going to explain to you how this happens. Right, and it's as simple as this. Follow the money every single time. Right, we know that Big Pharma makes billions off pushing pills and the jabs. BlackRock, Vanguard and State Street, well, they all have shares in Big Pharma. And the WHO, well, they're an unelected body that sets the rules for pandemics worldwide. So let me explain the control they just gave to one person who can refuse freedom of information requests. Step 1, pay a couple grand to get the lobbyists into Parliament. Step 2, don't waste your time with the useless moronic MPs. Go straight to the bureaucrats. They're the ones who write the laws. Step 3, the lobbyists sit down with the bureaucrats. They slide over a coffee with maybe something else. And then they say, write this Australian CDC, just like America's, but with a lot more control. The unelected bureaucrats getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, they nod their heads, they do as they're told, and they are good little servants. Which brings me on to step 4. The lobbyist then also hits up the head Labor politician, the one that's already in bed with Big Pharma, BlackRock, and the WHO. They convince him that this bill is absolutely golden. This fool buys it hook, line, and sinker because he's told to, like a good little servant. And then step 5, when they need a vote for the bill in Parliament, he turns around to his backbenchers and says, obey. Then the entirety of the Labor, Greens, Tills and Independents, well, they turn around and say, yes, I will vote, because they don't want to lose their pension because they're moronic cowards and they don't stand for anything. So all these MPs, they either toe the line or they get backstabbed by their own party. This is how it works. These people are evil. Now that you know all that information, let me explain to you exactly what's in the bill. First off, it starts January the 1st, 2026, and guess how much Albanese poured into it? $251 million, $250 million. This bill hands complete and utter control to one director in the entire nation. He or she controls all the disease data, all public health advice, and we know what happened during COVID, and this is a nail in the coffin. All the information you're allowed to know. Freedom of information requests, well, they can get blocked. And that's lawyer speak for, we can hide anything we want to. The health minister is calling this a single trusted source. And the meaning for that? Trust me, bro. So let me connect the dots for you so it really sinks in. Money, which sits at the top of everything, BlackRock, they own pharma, they own the lobbyists. The lobbyists then buy access to Parliament. They get access to the bureaucrats then write the bill. Then that same lobbyist, he goes to the senior MP and he obeys because he is controlled. And then that senior MP tells all the junior MPs, you obey or you get kicked out. And then the bill passes and the Australian CDC, well, they've just been granted godlike powers. And what's the result? Well, if an emergency comes up nationwide, they can declare lockdown, mandates, you know what. If you question the science, misinformation, and they'll take care of you. If you want any of the data, freedom of information request just got denied. So when I come out and say to you, these people in Parliament do not work for us, I mean it. And I am 100% serious when I say it is us first them, it is Australia first until we die. What's your thoughts?
Well, it's either win or they're going to kill you. So, yeah, I agree with you. That's their basic plan. They love you to death. They love you to death, guys. All right? They're on to you.
I know. One of the things that's really good, though, is the amount of people that are popping up, the amount of newbies. Here's one. I'll just play a bit of it because we've already covered this. But I just wanted to show his face so that people know who to follow.
Eating less red meat could be the way to save the environment. Well, that's the view of some government organisations who are looking at changing the way we live our lives, all in the name of climate change. A study is currently underway to reduce speed limits on country roads from 100 kilometres an hour to as low as 70 k's an hour. There are a number of factors that have brought this study into life, including safety and viability of existing infrastructure like roads. Also on that list is the impact on the environment. The thinking is the lower the speed, the lower your emissions. Some critics, though, have said that it's all to do with battery lives. EVs, which by 2035 the government wants half of all new cars sold to be electric vehicles, they simply can't travel the long distances at such speeds yet. That's what the critics say.
All right, look, I just remove him. He's newbie, so guys, go over it. It goes by Tapper Mail. Any newbie that's up reporting this sort of stuff, like, we get behind and support them. But also in alignment with that, we now have permits denied. Yeah, go, Dave.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, you know, we had electric vehicles back in the early 1900s, guys. This battery fast and how far you spin a motor over, all right, on a wheel, an electric motor, all right, you can use the chargers, keep the car going forever. These guys are just sucking you in, mate. This is all a load of bullshit baloney. All right, and this is all part of their control. Oh, the electric cars need to be able to... What a load of friggin' shit. They only travel that far because you fucking allowed them to travel that far. That's it. It's like when you put the golden rule on, you know, the WRX, the Lexus I used to have, and the Evo and that, and you held them all at 203 and you blocked up the exhaust to do it. Control, guys. It's always been about control. But we just changed the exhaust system and we beat you.
Now you have a case where in Sydney there's been a permit for a protest denied because of climate change. Check this out.
When did Australia
it could hurt the ground.
Where you can march with radical Islamists on the Sydney Harbour Bridge and then burn the Australian flag, but you're not allowed to wave one in a park protesting mass immigration and net zero? Because that's what's happening in Sydney, and it says everything about the state of this country under the Albanese Labor government. A group of proud Australians reached out to me recently. They call themselves Put Australia First, and they explained they were planning a peaceful protest in a public park. They wanted to speak out about what has been crushing everyday Aussies: mass immigration, unaffordable housing and rising power prices. They'd even worked with police to change the date of the march to the 29th of November because of the threat of left-wing violence. But the Sydney Council has denied their permit. And the excuse? They said the protest might damage the grass. And because of climate change, it might not grow back. Talk about a stitch-up.
Guys, that is their serious talk. That is your government's fucking logic. Excuse the French, guys, but I just... these guys are just doing my head in, man.
They are, and like, it doesn't get any better. This is coming from George Mamalmas, who's doing a great job now. He's in Turning Point Turning Point Australia, but he's been following the outbreak that's happened in South Australia.
Cover up, cover up. That should be the new name of the South Australian government. Earlier this year, in August, we warned them. We warned you. We told the government about the brevetoxins in the algae bloom. We said this wasn't just an irritation.
The government is telling you it's safe to eat the fish, but have the government actually explained why the fish are dying? It's called a brevetoxin, and brevetoxins are actually neurotoxins. They have a very similar effect to nerve gas. They are actually airborne, according to the scientist from Flinders University.
It was making people sick. They ignored us. They mocked it. They played stupid, like we didn't already know the dangers. Now the science confirms it.
Good evening. There are calls tonight for the health authorities to review the advice around our algal bloom crisis now that scientists know exactly what's causing it.
But the government maintains there's no need to change the rules.
It's much more serious. It impacts the nervous system. It's a neurotoxin.
He says the mass fish kills were alarming, but it was the deaths of dolphins and kangaroos, as well as 6 surfers and beachgoers, that turned their attention to species that produce brevetoxins.
I think we made a mistake.
Instead of warning the public, they spun it. They called it a minor irritation. They told people to keep swimming, even if some ended up in hospital.
There are a lot of people that have the...
We'll leave it there. Guys, the full story is available on the website. Go over and check it out. Unbelievable. Just more negligence from our government.
Yep. Anyway, I got turf that time, guys. Don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Threw me out.
Now, we've discussed bureaucracies and we've also discussed the big tech companies. This is really quite surprising, but not really that surprising when you think about it. This is Telstra and their new terms of conditions.
Definitely a pattern going on here. Now, Telstra have sent an email stating that they can just switch off someone's service under the following conditions. Check it out.
Behaved inappropriately.
Unbelievable.
Domestic, supporting victims of domestic violence.
So all you got to do, so what they want you to do now is ring up and dob in, just like it was in COVID, guys, all right? You dob someone in, you'll get a reward, you know? It's just insanity.
Yeah,
When was Australia ever about dobbing in anyone? Australia was about standing by people, you know what I mean? Whether they did maybe wrong or not, you know, right up to the point where you had to go, okay, right, it's your issue, you know? But, man, we always stood up for each other. Now just, you know, sell us out. We used to get sold out every week, me and Mel back in COVID. Unbelievable, man. The cops just on the doorstep every friggin' week.
Well, I thought I come from a rural area, and what I found really good is on the local notice boards, like somebody had it written up. I saw my neighbour put the garbage bin out without wearing a mask. Should I call them in? And the amount of pile-on that happened, people were just, and they are just okay, totally opposite. Not one person was basically saying, "Oh yeah, do it." Everybody else was basically, "What the?" You know. So at least there is some of that still left in the rural areas. Not for long though, with the amount of immigrants they're bringing in. Look, this we've talked about good cops, but there's also like bad cops. This story is horrendous.
Plenty of them.
Trigger warning.
Cruel and brutal, the attack, which was all captured on video and has now been publicly released by the court. And a warning, the details in this report are confronting.
Their final moment of freedom, a swift push to the courtroom doors.
How do you feel about going to prison?
Are you ashamed of what you've done?
Are you sorry for your actions?
Are you prepared to go to prison? Nathan Black and Timothy Troush, no longer police officers, now prisoners, both sentenced to at least 3 years non-parole. Their victim, a naked, unarmed woman with schizophrenia. It was a Sunday afternoon in 2023 when the officers were called to Emu Plains to help her. She was belligerent. They were brutal, unleashing their police-issued capsicum spray on her face and her vagina. Here, Troush smiles as she tries to run away. These images captured on Black's own body-worn camera.
Unbelievable.
It is just absolutely disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, and these people run around with guns, but we can't have any. You know, like, how can someone do that to a female? You know she's in stress. It's a Emu Plains. You know, like she's naked on the side of the road, man. Where is their compassion? They kick the fuck out of her. Like, belligerent. Of course she's going to be belligerent.
And
She's sitting
enjoyed
in the
doing
middle of
it.
the road with no freaking clothes on. You know what? Do you think she's in a good state of mind?
And enjoyed it. And enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
enjoyed it. Yeah. And they only got
And then
3 years on parole on the bottom. You should have got fucking 30. I won't say that number, 30 years. Yeah.
And then you have the teenager who stabbed Dr. Ash Gordon to death during a home invasion last January is the son of a senior Victoria police investigator.
Yeah. Oh, we got another one as well. There's a heap of them. Their kids are, they think they're top dollar. They think they can't be touched because daddy's a copper. That might have worked in the old days, and it did a little bit. Okay, but the crimes weren't as severe, and it was usually neighbourhood shit. You either you bent over and took the size 9 in my days, guys, and you hobbled home, or else you got led to your front door with the copper and he knocked. So that's probably why I got a bad tailbone at this age of life, because I took a few kicks. I'd rather that than getting home and getting flogged by dad. Although my dad wasn't like that. Yeah.
All right, we got let's bring on the flyers because we've got a heap on this month.
And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. This affects every worker and every business. New South Wales under a corrupt government. Enough is enough. We won't stay silent and we demand action. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. And there will be a Truther fundraiser on Saturday the 8th of November at 5 p.m. at Davison Town Progress Hall, 5 Macaulay Street, Davistown, opposite Ferry Wharf. The cost of entry will be $20. And there is a court call out for court support in Tamworth Council versus Rocco at the JMT Local Court in Sydney on the 4th of the 12th of the 25th, and that is for rate arrears. And there is a court call out on Friday the 14th of November at 9 a.m. at New South Wales Supreme Court. Dr. Beverly Pearce and Rod Cullerton are suing High Court Registrar Anna Bennett for perverting the course of justice and blocking access to the High Court. And Mullumbimby in New South Wales will be holding an 8:32 muster from Friday the 21st to Monday the 24th of November. Book a campsite at Mullumbimby Showground. And on Saturday, the 22nd of November, there is an Abolish Abortion Australia conference. This will be featuring T. Russell Hunter, founder of Abolitionists Rising. The tickets are $27.78 and it is on Saturday, the 22nd of November, 11:30am to 4:30pm, 12 Belvedere Street, Surrey Hills. Every Saturday in Melbourne at 10am, there is an instructing of the Governor at the Governor Gates. And in Melbourne, Justice for the People would like to remind everyone that they gather every Sunday at 4:30pm at the Shrine of Remembrance. And the Worldwide Rally for Freedom will be hosting Save Australia, Albo Must Go, Stop Mass Immigration, Stop Government Corruption, Saturday the 15th of November, 12pm, Parliament House, Melbourne. And there will be a mass non-compliance date against the digital ID, starting on the 11th of November for 11 days. On the 11th day of the 11th month, cash only or pre-plan, no online purchases and no purchases. And in Sydney on Remembrance Day, Tuesday the 11th of November. First of all, there will be a meeting at Hyde Park at 10am, then a 11am Remembrance Day service. Then they will be calling on Governor Margaret Beazley to do her job and sack this government. And there will be a Remembrance Day gathering on Tuesday the 11th of November in Melbourne. First of all, 11am, Shrine of Remembrance on St Kilda Road. Then they're going to march to Governor House and ask for Governor Margaret Gardner to do her job and sack this government, lest we forget. And in Adelaide on the 11th of November, they will meet at the Adelaide National War Memorial at 10:30am. Then they will walk to Parliament House. And in Canberra on the 11th of November at 10:30am they will meet at the Australian War Memorial. There will be a protest for late-term abortion of healthy babies by Dr. Joanne Howe outside of the South Australian Parliament, Northern Terrace, on Wednesday the 12th of November, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And United Voice Australia are holding Australia Unites rally. Stop mass immigration now and address the cost of living. This is on the 23rd of November, 12 p.m, Rundle Park, Adelaide. And the vaccine injury bus tour will be happening again. November 10th, Wollongong. November 11th, Kiama. 12th, Nowra. 13th, Ulladulla. 14th, Narooma. 15th, Merimbula. 16th, Yass. 17th, Goulburn. And 18th, Bowral. Every day at 3 p.m. on X, there is a daily prayer space. Melissa, 146 239 23.
Monday, 1 p.m, Fraternity Club, as I know it, guys. All right, for Wollongong. It is all on the website. All right, so head over there, check it out, have a look.
We had this situation where this British man was arrested for preaching or sharing the gospel or debating.
Yeah.
The saying that Christ is my God, but I equally do it, 1 second, to the Muslims that say and reject the sonhood of Christ. It's getting dangerous now. Can you go over there? You're going to prevent, we need to prevent a breach of the peace. Yeah, you're winding people up, so go that way. I'm not going to wind them up. In fact, they invited me to a discussion.
Now,
That's another different preacher. But anyway, yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, and you think that that's insane until you listen to this.
Suppression Conversion Practices Act, such a prayer that people would simply accept the body and the gender and the identity that they were given at birth, that is now a crime. And it is a crime that the Victorian government are desperate to prosecute someone for. Just searching for the act by name online will bring up links for you to report people to the police or to the Human Rights Commission or to contact an LGBTIQA+ liaison officer. Such is their desperation to find and make an example of someone who has violated this act. Weirdly, if I search for the Victorian Crimes Act, you know, the one that outlaws the little things like theft and assault and rape and murder, no such helpful contact details appear. It's almost like they think that it's more important to catch someone who prays the wrong prayers than it is to catch a thief or a killer.
What do you say? What do you say?
That's it. And then you've got this case where this man was feeding the poor.
A man who's been feeding the poor for 5 years has been given his marching orders. Coffs Harbour Council says his location is unsuitable. But there's been an outcry from the community who say demand for food is at an all-time high.
For over 5 years, former homeless man Simon Romana has been on a mission to fill empty bellies.
I'm thinking, I'm not the only one that's hungry in this town. Look at them all. They're all looking for a feed.
Mr Romana began cooking up a storm in the early morning. The public response was immediate.
6:30 quarter to 7 in the mornings. I set up the barbecue and start cooking. Mums were coming out of the car park with their children to get something to eat before they take them to school.
But on Friday, Coff City Council issued a letter threatening enforcement action.
Yeah, they're trying to get him to move on, but we come here every day and we love his food. He gives us free drinks. He helps us. He's a Christian man.
Similar agencies on the Coffs Coast say demand is far outstripping supply. Operating just across town, Loaves and Fishes says there's been a 60%.
Look, we'll leave it there because we're running out of time. But just council overreach is just outrageous, as well as the rest of the government at the moment.
That is just insane, but picking on people that are, doing it. And look, guys, you can see this is exactly how it's going down. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll close up.
Well, just quickly, we're having a lot of wins, so there's a lot of awesome stuff happening. Supreme Court has just basically ruled in a 6-3 decision that allows Trump to mandate biological sex passports, which is very good. You also have the situation. So you also have the situation at the moment. What's that? you also have this age reverse. Okay, has now become public. Have a little bit of a listen.
Scientists just figured out how to reverse aging with AI, and this is a massive breakthrough. We can now reprogram any human cell back to age 20. Heart cells, skin cells, brain cells, all reset to their biological prime. But here's the wildest part. The technology to do this has existed since 2012. It won the Nobel Prize. But the real breakthrough wasn't possible until this year, when they supercharged it with AI. It's a wild story. So in 2006, scientists discovered Yamanaka factors. They're proteins that can basically convert any normal cell into a universal stem cell. Now, this discovery was a huge deal because these stem cells are basically like magic healers. If you have torn muscle tissue, you can inject these stem cells into the area and they will turn into the youthful muscle cells that you need. So Yamanaka factors were an insane.
Look, the rest of the video will be available on the website. We're running out of time, but I just wanted to show that because in the Q drops, there was a lot of stuff that was in there with regards to the health. So, and it looks like we're actually heading towards that at the moment. And then the final thing is I have to put, not the final thing. Oh, we're at 40. Oh, let's go a bit over.
Right.
Trump and his comments on Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you for retirement. Thank you, press.
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi's retirement.
I think she's an evil woman. I'm glad she's retiring. I think she did the country a great service by retiring. I think she was a tremendous liability for the country.
And on Dick Cheney.
I thought she was an evil woman who did a poor job, who cost the country a lot in damages.
And then you've got Charlie Ward's made this. Now, I've actually been thinking this because there's something very weird about the whole New York situation. And Charlie Ward's come out and said this. Now, I know everyone's a bit funny about Charlie Ward, but just have a listen to what he says about Mandani.
Hi, guys. This is just a little reminder. I keep telling you this is all pantomime. This is all a movie. So when you see Mamdani when in New York, this is all part of the pantomime. Stop getting so wound up about it. You're watching a movie. You're watching a pantomime. Central casting. I have to keep reminding you every time there's a bump in the road. You think it's for real. It's all pantomime.
The reason I was suspicious about the Mandani win is because the biggest lobby, I think the biggest Jewish city is outside of Israel is actually New York. Every person is Jew. So I found it very suspicious, and then I found it very strange. And then Mandani has a writer, director, and actor credit. So I was so there seems like on IMDb. So I think that this is a very interesting situation, and I could be looking at one of those things going, am I watching? I sometimes think that. I think, am I watching? This doesn't seem real. It seems like it's way over the top. So it could be that this is one of the cases. But anyway, look, Rocky Housewife is taking us out, and can't remember what the name of the song is. I'll look it up, Dave, and you can close the show.
All right. Well, yes, the Matrix, guys, is not what we believe it to be. Well, the Matrix probably is. The world is not what you envisage. Okay. I think we are living in a matrix, guys, and it's a spiritual war, and the war is going on in the back scenes, right behind, just like it's going on in the back scenes, around the world, like we're showing you. It's going on in the back scenes of the spiritual world, guys. All right. What we need to do is bring that to the forefront. Okay. Because this is a spiritual war. All right. And that is the way that we're going to endure and overcome through this, guys. But, we're just showing you again on a Friday night wrap up how bad these guys are going to make this look to try and wake these people up, guys, if that's what's going on. All right. If not, doesn't change anything, does it? Our job is still to go out, wake as many people as we can up, all right, and get them to know the truth. But, Wollongong Hospital down here, guys, this is a good friend, someone that we know quite well and you would believe, and, he's sort of involved with the medical system, but got told 2 days ago, a guy I went to school with got cancer, 10 weeks, stage 4 already. And they've done, DR has already offered him to sign for euthanasia needle plus a not to resuscitate. Another person I knew took the option of euthanasia, gone now, with their help. They had Hep C for a long time, about 12 months. Like, guys, this is where we're going, man. All right. They don't want to help you. All right, your government loves you to death with every facet of its control. All right, and this beast, all right, whether that be the medical system, the judiciary, all right, the judges, whatever, guys, it doesn't matter. Look at our cops who are showing you on here tonight. Now, yeah, okay, all cops aren't like that. But I tell you what, why are any like that? That is not human. So this brings us to Tuesday, guy. Monday sees with the Vax bus, get out and support that, people, around the traps, all right? And Tuesday, see you in Sydney. All right, the 11th, guys, and let's have a think about what our forefathers fought for. A banker's war. Well, we got time to turn that over now. All right, so it wasn't actually for a banker's war because we can utilize their spirit and what they done. And now we're a bit more educated. We can take to these fight to the people with the truth. All right, we're not being lied to anymore, guys. We know. So let's make Tuesday big, guys, all around Australia, the 11th, 11 a.m. 11 a.m. All right, from then, 1 o'clock in the afternoon is tools down. All right, let's see how we go here, guys. So spread the word. You got the weekend to do it. Good night, people. God bless you all. Thank you.
Drafting laws to keep us swayed. A hate speech bill, a silencing game. But are they for real or just chasing fame? Why is the government censoring us? In this land of plenty, we're losing trust. Over a false flag, they're pulling the strings. We're fighting for our voices, let freedom ring. Under, the streets are filled with pain. Mass immigration, can we break these chains? Inflation's rising, costs we can't bear. While they sit in their towers, do they even care? Why is the government censoring us? In this land of plenty, we're losing trust. Over a false flag, they're pulling the strings. We're fighting for our voices, let freedom ring. Oh, the whispers in the shadows, they're growing loud. The truth is a fire and we'll burn it proud. United we stand, through the storm we'll rise. No more silence, no more lies. Why is the government censoring us? In this land of plenty, we're losing trust. Over a false flag, they're pulling the strings. We're fighting for our voice.